Mr. Herring, you had said that the case involving Hillary Clinton is closed. Did you mean that that also includes the perjury referral that the Congress has sent to the FBI? Has that case been disposed of?
No, I'm not aware of. I know there have been referrals. I'd have to defer to the Department of Justice for where that is in the process.
But you can't say that it's been disposed of, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me bring you in, Mr. Higgins, about kind of the nature of the information. Do you work or have you worked in your career at the CIA in what is called a SCIF?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
A SCIF is a sensitive compartmented information facility.
And what's the purpose of it?
It is a secure facility in which one can handle sensitive compartmented information.
So if I have that type of information, TSSCI, am I allowed to store it in my office if my office isn't certified as a SCIF?
There are rules for handling classified information. I wouldn't want to misstate those rules, but as a general principle, compartmented material should be stored in a SCIF. And
so could I bring it home, even if I lock my door at night, put it in my nightstand, if I lock my bedroom door, would that meet the qualifications of having SCI information if it wasn't certified as a SCIF?
Unless you have a SCIF in your home, generally no.
Okay. And we have a SCIF underneath the Capitol here. We have briefings here for members of Congress. And when you are going into the SCIF, there are certain protocols that you got to follow, correct?
Yes.
All the files have to be locked up at the end of the night, correct?
That's correct.
And when the SCIF is unoccupied, the door's got to be locked. You can't just leave it open, right?
That's correct.
And you're not allowed to bring phones or electronic recording devices in the SCIF, correct?
That is correct.
So if I want to sit there and listen to the briefing about payments to Iran, if that's classified and we're down in the SCIF, if I want to bring my my iPhone to check my email or to check news clips, I just can't do that, right?
I would hope not.
Okay. Now, has it happened at the CIA or any of the other agencies where employees have brought that type of electronic media into a SCIF?
I'm sure that people do on occasion accidentally bring electronic devices in. There's a protocol for them reporting that to your security officers and removing it from the building as soon as you discover that you have it.
And I would say that there's probably been instances where SCIFs have been unlocked overnight or been unattended and been unlocked, and there's also procedures for reporting that, correct?
Yeah, I have no immediate personal knowledge, but I'd assume that there are such cases.
Okay. And why do you have to immediately report it? I mean, mistakes happen?
To assess whether there were any consequences of a SCIF, for example, having been unlocked or an electronic device having been brought into a SCIF.
Which, and the consequences could mean that that information is exposed to hostile actors?
Potentially exposed one way or another.
Okay. And if that happens, what happens at the CIA if somebody has not shown themselves to be able to handle this in accordance with the applicable rules and regulations? Is that something that employees have faced consequences for?
Sir, I'd prefer not to speculate or answer a hypothetical. It's a case-by-case basis, depending on the...
It's not a hypothetical. I'm saying, have there been consequences for employees who have not followed the proper protocol in the past?
If people fail to follow security protocols, there are consequences ranging from a conversation with a security officer to administrative action and up from there.
Okay. And administrative action could mean loss of security clearance?
Depending, again, it all very much depends on the facts of the case at hand.
Now, there's an issue about whether classified information is marked or not. Does the fact that it has markings, if something is not marked, does that mean it's not classified?
If information is classified, it should be marked as classified, both portion markings and headers and footers on the beginning and end of the document. But the lack of a classification marking does not mean that the material in question is not necessarily classified.
And if you have, if we have people that are forward and, you have things like signals intelligence and human intelligence, you can get that in forms before it ends up getting reduced to a document, correct?
Yes, one could.
And the fact that, and then if I got that, I could not then go to an email system or an unclassified area and reduce that to writing if it's not properly protected, correct?
When classified information is reduced to writing or put on an electronic system, it should be put on a system that is appropriately secure for that level of classification.
Thank you. I'm out of time. I yield back.
Thank the